Alright, welcome back. We are talking today about flexbox versus floats. Now, I don't think anyone uses either of these anymore, as they probably use grid instead. But flexbox does still work, and it did replace floats for a while, I think, before grid was implemented. So I'm just going to do a quick demo of floats, and then we will do a demo of flexbox showing the difference. So the way we used to align elements, which you still can use these days, is floats. So we used to set a wrapper, and then all the elements within used to float left or float right, and then they'd kind of sit next to each other. So this is the float example, and this float wrap, we would set float wrap to overflow hidden. It always had to be overflow hidden, I think, or overflow auto maybe. And then we will style our round ball, because I'm going to put round balls in this for some reason. So this is our balls as we add them to the float wrap, and you can see that they stack. Even though they're set with a 100 height and 100 width, they still stack anyway. So we want to get all these balls to sit next to each other. And the way we can do that with floats is just to add a float left. So our float element will be float left, vertical align middle, and then we'll give it a bit of padding to kind of set it up at the top there. So if we do that, you can see that they are floated, but they are a little bit weird looking. I don't know why they're doing that. It could be my border radius on these round balls, maybe. Border radius. You can kind of set the border radius to 100%, I think. I wonder if that will fix it. Yeah, that kind of fixes it. You would think that with a width of 100 and a height of 100, it would make these, if I move this out, it doesn't make any difference either. They look like eggs for some reason. Maybe if we go 50 and 50. There's something else weird going on with these. Always something weird with the code, because I don't really test it before. This is old code that I had sitting around. Maybe the margin? That just stops them from hitting each other. It was the padding that I had on there. For some reason, the padding was being added to that. So now we can go back to 100 again. Not that much. Alright, we have our round balls again, and they're sitting next to each other, and they're floated left. So that is how you would align them if you wanted to float. And you can see if I resize my screen, they just kind of stack as you go down. And that really kind of worked well, I thought. But now we can do the same thing with flex, which replaced float, but it's not as cool as grid, I don't think. So now we will just add a flex wrap. In the flex wrap, we want to display flex wrap, and then justify content to the center. And our flex element, which we'll add to our balls, we will add display flex, align center, and justify content center as well. And then we'll just add the HTML for this. And they do align better, which is I think why I prefer to use flex if I'm just aligning simply. Otherwise I'd use probably a grid. So this is our flex wrap and our round ball, and instead of float element we're putting flex element, but otherwise they're the same. So now you can see flex, and they are, if I resize this, they stay in the middle and they stack in the middle as well. With float left and right, you can't really get them to stack that as well. So if you want something to be centered and floated, then flex is better for that. Anyway, that's it. That's a quick video today, and thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Flex versus float.